Good day. My name is Michael Smickley, and thank you for being on Everyone's Got a Story, What's Yours? Today we have Dick Lerner here today, and I thank you very much for being here.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. So, about the show is, the premise and the concept behind the show is that life happens for us all. It has molded us and shaped us into the individuals we are today, for the knowledges and the experiences gained. As you've gone through life, it kind of just like mundane to you. It's like, man, I've done it. But someone else who hears your story may resonate with you to give you hope and or inspire you to be so much more. So today with Dick, we've been talking a little bit in the lobby about some really cool stuff that you've gone through over your life and that you've helped inspire so many people, from the military to civilians to workshops to so much more in the legacy of Omaha that you and your company has been in for over 100 years. That is a staple of wow.
You know, when you put your time and effort into something, you put your heart and your passion into everything that you do. And the main thing is you do it right the first time.
Very true.
There's no second. You know, it's got to be done consistently, done the right way, because then I can sleep at night.
That is true. That is true.
I can always remember the truth all the time, but I'd hate to start going the other way.
That's true. That's true.
And through my lifetime, when I was about this high, I was always exposed to our family business. We're over 100 years. Initially, our initial business was down 11th and Farnham. And I remember I was about 5 or 6 years old when I was first taken down there. And it's amazing when my grandfather came over to this country. When he started, he actually got started in commercial real estate and got started in hotels. And so anyway, he had commercial property. And this is all before World War I.
Oh, wow.
And then for some reason, he decided to open up a pawn shop in downtown Omaha along with it.
Interesting.
Well, the economy before World War I was not very good.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people, when they brought clothing in to get some money for it, they never came back to get the clothing.
Interesting.
And they accumulated so much that they had to dispose of it. So that was the beginnings of Lerners probably from, we think, 1909 to 1976.
Wow.
In 1976, we changed the family name to Bel Air Fashions. There was the Lerner's Ladies stores we were never connected with. And back in the 70s, we had so many people who were transient moving in and out of Omaha that too much time was spent in our marketing that we weren't connected with Lerner's Ladies. So we were in Bel Air. We had moved from 11th and Farnham back in 1960 to 20th and Farnham, across the street from the Astro Theater. And then in 1970, we moved out west. There was a new building there in the Bel Air Plaza, and we moved in there, and we stayed there until 1986. And in 76, we changed the name from Lerner's to Bel Air Fashions, because we never thought we were going to move. And then all the dynamics started changing, and retail, cool. Food City was there, and Richmond Gorman were there, and we were the third busiest shopping center in Omaha.
That's cool. Back
in the 70s. And then in the 80s, there was a development when the Golden Spike Theater was torn down. We had a real estate developer come to us and wouldn't leave us alone. So in we started working with them in 1984, and then finally, when the building was open in February of '86, we moved over, and we've been over there for 37 plus years.
Wow,
now.
That's pretty cool.
It is, and you know, we were a fully mechanical business through all these years. And then starting about 1990, we started getting into computers. Then the internet came out, and today we're fully digital.
Wow.
And we're on different social media platforms that I write constantly for.
That's cool.
I write a blog, and also over the years been doing workshops since, it's funny how it all works. I graduated college in 1973, and 2 weeks after I came, I was doing another career at the same time. My father was sick. And so anyway, my parents asked me if I joined my father and brother in the business.
That's cool.
And so I moonlighted basically 2 full-time jobs and some pretty long days of 15, 16 hours. But as my dad's health declined, I was asked to come in full-time. And with all the training and education I had, I never looked back.
That's cool.
And what it afforded me to do was take all my education along with my experience and play it forward. And one thing, when you're in a business, it's not about you as a company, it's about your clients and customers, why they come to you, what their needs are, what they want, and how you can become better each and every day when you're in business and never lose sight of it. Problems, if they ever came up, we just learned that you just take care of them, you don't let anything fester. And that's the way really our mission statement and our business model is. And it's more important for us to have something right than wrong. True. Even if somebody comes in from another store where something wasn't right, we try to help them make it right and not throw anything in anybody's face. But it's frustration for people when they come to you.
Yes.
And you got to take lemons and make them into lemonade for people. That's the best way that I can tell you.
That's very true.
And so anyway, with all that, 2 weeks after coming into the business, we had a call to do a workshop. And being the new kid on the block coming in, I was elected to do that. So anyway, workshops we started getting asked quite a bit in the 70s to do. And then in 1982 was really a changing point for me. We were asked to join a panel at the Omaha Chamber of Commerce at the old tower on 78th and Cass there.
Okay.
And that morning in October, we had 275 plus people. We had media there. We had a dark room filled up with people, and we had reporters, everything. We had a panel of 4. And we were all asked to talk about certain expertise, and I was asked to talk about dress appearance because people are still dressed professionally all the time.
Yeah.
So every panelist, we had 4, and 3 of the 4 froze up during the cameras. So they came to me, I was the last one to speak. They said, you've got to carry the brunt of this. So
Oh my.
anyway, for the next couple hours, that's what I did. I talked about the topic that I was asked to talk about, why it was so important about dress and appearance and image. And then I got a ton of questions after I finished.
That's cool.
And then at that point I decided if I'm going to be doing workshops, I got to be in front of it and top of it and do the best that I possibly can do.
Very true.
And then a number of years later, when we had moved to Miracle Hills, I think it was, I can't remember the exact day on a Friday in July, but it was 2003. We had a colonel who hired a individual to help him to put a wardrobe together. Anyway, he needed to plan a wardrobe for a very high-end interview. And what happened, they went out shopping. And we were the last stop on a hot Friday afternoon. He had a splitting headache, nothing to wear, and the following Thursday he had to be ready for a job interview. And he was a nuclear warfare engineer, and this is when SAC was becoming STRATCOM at the time.
Ah, interesting.
And so anyway, we had talked in front, the individual was in the back looking, and I told him what I thought would be necessary and what would work for him. He said, do you mind if I come back by myself in the morning? I got a headache right now and I can't think straight. I said, fine. So anyway, came back Saturday morning, we helped him, we got him ready for his interview. He picked it up on Tuesday, went out, had the Thursday interview up in New Hampshire. And then when he got done with all that, he says, I'll be back in Omaha and want to come see you. I said, fine. So anyway, he came back, he said, I'm totally convinced the way you helped me get dressed, it put me over the top. I got this very competitive job from a large group of people who were interviewing. And we have a new program down at Offutt, and it's a career transition. He said, do you think you can help military people like myself? I said, sure. I've been doing workshops for already at this point about 20 years with colleges, businesses, organizations. So then,
Awesome.
anyway, made me faithfully promise to get a hold of the Airmen Support Center out of Offutt, which I did. And they referred me to Nebraska Job Services, which now today is Nebraska Workforce.
Nice.
And anyway, one thing led to another. So I had to make a business trip to Dallas in August, and my brother called me, and he said, they called from Nebraska Job Service, you need to call them. So anyway, I did, and then we made a meeting, and then we had somebody from Family Airmen Support Center come. So anyway, they asked me to come out after Labor Day to do a workshop, and we had a fair presence of their people in the back of the room.
Cool.
And then when I concluded that day, they said, can you come back 2 weeks later? I said, fine. And the problem was they were having people come in talking about fashion, about everything except what the content was needed, how to prepare to come out of a BDU into civilian dress.
Correct.
And especially professional at that time. Yeah. And so anyway, what we had to do, I told them after the second workshop, I said, I'll be more than happy to volunteer my time, but it's going to be a volunteer. There aren't going to be any contracts, but I said I have to learn the military culture. So what they asked me to do, this was back in September, to come on full time. I said, be patient with me. Let me learn everything about the military culture so I know how to take what I have and develop specifically for the military.
That's very awesome.
And so anyway, that really began in earnest in '93. And then over the years, I had so many people ask me, where can we get your information? Because this is my stuff that I created myself.
Awesome.
So finally in '99, everybody just kept on me and on me and on me. And it led to writing this book here called Dress Like the Big Fish. So this, I've taken everything that I knew for the military and colleges and anybody going through a career transition. And anyway, I wouldn't put any pictures in there because I wouldn't date the book, but the information still has a long shelf life, and it's really helped. I've had thousands of people go through the career transition at Offutt, along with the colleges and everything else that we've done, but it helped people get from point A to point B successfully, because it's not about a name, it's not about a label, it's about the fabric, the construction of the garment, knowing your body type, what's going to be the best thing for you, what to look for in fabrics, how fabrics are woven, what the fabrics are going to do, what they're not going to do. And it's all, it's like you take small pieces to put them in a puzzle, and then you got a puzzle.
Very true.
And it's like, the other thing is, if you want a great cake, you got to get the right ingredients to make the great cake.
Correct.
And this doesn't happen overnight. It takes discipline, it takes time, it takes understanding and planning. Especially today, we're in supply chain shortages.
Yes, we are.
You just don't know what's available out there. So many doors. We've lost probably 600,000 plus retailers in the United States since the pandemic. There's less places to go. People are getting offline. They're frustrated because the quality and consistency isn't there. And they want to get away from the desk at home and the computers, get out there, start doing things again, have more of a human contact again. And those are the things that we're experiencing today as back then. And this hasn't changed from 1993 to now. And now that we're seeing companies are going to be going back to the offices again.
Which is good.
They're trying to define what the new dress code is going to be. And it could be in a jacket, it could be an open collared shirt, it could be a slack for both men and women. More professional, sometimes in meetings it may require a tie. And these are all the things that can happen, and especially today when we're interviewing, it can be on a Zoom call initially, it can be an in-person call. But the important thing is is knowing what you need and how to plan your wardrobes and how to build them. And this has always been our expertise.
Very true.
And
Very
it's
true.
always on the based on the fabrics, number one.
Yep.
It's understanding the client, what their fit is, and how we bring everything together here. So the end result is, when they walk through the door, they have a power and presence, make a compelling
Yes.
statement.
Yes.
And the last thing you ever want to do is have your clothing go through the room before you do, because then you're making the wrong statement. It's not about the fashion.
Correct.
It's about, if you got it up here,
Correct.
this is your framework right here, where you bring people to your eyes, to your mouth, to your message,
Yes.
so they know who you are. And your clothing should never be a distraction.
Correct.
You should never wear more than 6 accessories at a given time, so you don't cause a distraction there.
Yeah.
When you put on any kind of cologne or perfume, you don't want to have it radiate to cause a sneezing attack where you break up an interview.
Correct.
Or when you're doing business with somebody.
Yep.
The other thing is, you can't pancake makeup on, lipstick, nail polish. You never want to be gaudy.
Correct.
So you make things more neutral, but you make them professional.
Correct.
You never walk in with dirty fingernails. Make sure your nails are always manicured. Make sure you don't have hair growing out of your earlobes, no hairy necks, no hair growing out of the nostrils, no little fuzzies around here, especially when it's important for getting a job, or when you're in business. You know, when it comes to an employer for asking for work, you have to meet and exceed the expectations of the employer.
That is correct.
And when you're dealing with companies and individuals, it's being respectful of who they are, what the company is, why you're there. And if you're there to do business, you need to be the professional they're looking for. And today, professional can still be on the corporate side, or it can be on the lifestyle side.
Correct.
And if you're on Google or Facebooks or work environments like that, they have their own set of guidelines.
Correct.
Where it's still professional for these companies, but it may be like an outdoor shirt, an outdoor pair of pants. It could be a quarter zip. It could be a shawl over a crew, or some kind of a mock neck for a lady, or it could be a blouse. It could be any number of ways there.
That's
But
true.
it's having good balance. And the thing that's so important for people that we work with is knowing their body types. What's going to work, what doesn't work. If you got something that, you know, it's a name brand or a designer, and it's sourced out, that doesn't mean you're buying quality. Quality begins with the fabric. It's taking your hand, knotting up, walling it up, make sure it has good release, it doesn't wrinkle up, has good body.
Oh, yes.
So when you put something on, it drapes to your body, it's not clinging. And we have so many different fit types today. We have relaxed fit, classic fit, we have modern fit, slim fit, trim, super trim. But for most people in our age groups, when you get to a certain age, you know, gravity shifts. We get muscle, we get bones.
Yep.
And sometimes a modern fit will work there if you get the right size and everything. But beyond that, it gets too tight. And the last thing you want to do is sit down and have your fabric bust out off the seam.
That is true.
Because everything's too tight. You know, it's one thing to stand, but you got to be able to sit and spread out.
That is true.
And that's very, very true. And, you know, when it comes, there's so much to it, you know, and these are all the things in all these years that we've worked with. And, you know, we keep refining the process here.
Yep.
And, you know, it's always amazing how all this has transcended and why people come to you. And then, you know, another time, 2002, we had Banyan Productions in Philadelphia call me on a hot July day.
And we're going to have to get you on the show to bring that back into here again, because we are running a little short on time.
Okay.
You did. You have amazing what you've done, your corporation, your family has done for Omaha. But definitely want it, with what Bandine did with you, definitely want to bring you back again
Okay,
for that.
that sounds great. It's been a joy. It's been a passion. It's been phenomenal, because we get to work with so many wonderful people and companies And we help companies define their logo apparel because they're sick and tired of the stuff that didn't work. They want it to fit right. You know, when a company has a great brand and image,
Yes.
they want their people to be a
Yes.
mirrored image of that. And that's what we've been able to really help them do.
Well, there's one thing that when I was at the Omaha Empowerment Breakfast a few months ago, you said something to me that just stuck with me ever since. And it was about a lot of our clothes in today's society is a disposable
Yes.
society.
I'm glad you brought that up
So
because
what your company does, and there are a few others out there that do it also, that have a longevity
right,
of lasting material that's meant to last
right.
over time, not just a short-term
Right.
time limit.
The apparel industry is notorious for waste.
Unfortunately,
And we
yes.
have to be eco and sustainable. That's part of our
Yes.
overall
Yes.
makeup as our
Yes.
business. We have to have good, sustainable, eco type of products.
Correct.
Things that we're not filling up the landfills and oceans with.
Correct.
So you can buy things, have them longer, and you don't need to buy. You know, we have so much waste in closets that we go through closets that are brought to us constantly.
Yep.
Things never worn with the tag still on there.
Correct.
And that's got to stop, so we're protecting our resources.
That is very,
And
very
it's
true.
very real what's going on right now, and that's contributing to the supply chain shortages that are occurring because we still have places in the world that are still under COVID rules.
Yeah.
They can't get in producing, and they, they're limited what they can do. So there's way more demand than supply,
Yeah, very true.
and that's really a very relevant process right now that we're involved with.
Very true. To wrap things up here, is there anything that you inspires or motivates you?
You know, I think the motivation comes to us from all of our, we get, I just had a fellow in today before I came. In fact, I tried to keep my schedule clear this morning so I'd be here on time.
I appreciate that.
Well, anyway, he was out this morning and he was trying to find pants that would fit him. And he needed them casual for his work and everything. He's very frustrated. He's been all over the place. So he walked in, came off of Google search. So anyway, I said, he told me his size and what he's looking for. I said, no problem. I said, go put these on. So anyway, I had to leave to get here on time, so I left him with my brother.
Yeah.
But anyway, we had several pair of pants, and he said, my goodness, I didn't know this even existed. So I think the thing is we have to be very good listeners. We have to understand what issues our clients have, or companies or individuals, it doesn't matter. And we're kind of like the clothing MDs in the clothing business.
True, true.
Because
true,
we've taken a lot of information so we can help figure out where they're at, make good solid recommendations. And the last thing we'll tell somebody, you get enough in your wardrobe so get you through the week.
Correct.
And enough changes.
Yes.
And you don't need to have all this stuff.
Correct. It's a waste.
And that's the best thing we can tell people, because in the long run you have a better wardrobe, you're going to save money over time because you're going to spend less.
Oh, yes.
And you're going to look great.
Very
And you
true.
get the right fabrics and the right colors and the right modeling. There's nothing to be said for it. We've had more people tell us, boy, what a change you've made in my life. And, or, yeah, I got that job, or we get the emails, we get the postcards, whatever it may be. But it's helping people help themselves.
And which inspires others.
Yes. And there's a right way of doing things. And when people come to us, they put themselves in our hands. It's to help them feel better about themselves
Yes.
and get to where they need to be.
Very true. Very true.
And that's why I've done this for all these years, and my brother too. And, you know, it's a passion you develop over time.
Very true. Well, Dick, thank you very much for being here on
You're very
Everyone's Got a Story, What's Yours? And I'm definitely looking forward to having you come back again.
I'll be more than happy to.
And it's going to be amazing to see how everything moves forward in the next few months into 2024. Wow.
Right.
We're already there?
Yeah, already there.
So thank you for everyone for being here with us. For Dick, and my name is Michael Smeckley. And looking forward to having you come back once again. And thank you.